Welcome back to the realest channel on YouTube. It is a day after the event we were all waiting for a little while between Logan Paul, the fight I should say, between Logan Paul and Floyd Money Mayweather. Overall, I think it was a decent card. It wasn't the best card, but it was decent. We started off with Chad Cinco Johnson fighting Maxwell, I believe, if I got his first name wrong, sorry, but I think it is Maxwell, and that was obviously a scrap between two novices who were having an exhibition match as well. There was no winner, but they both put it out on the line and they went in. It was good to see Cinco boxing in there. A bit too much movement, bit too much distance between the fighters, so we knew, there was not going to be action at certain points because of the distance between the two. But when there was action, there was definitely some action. Cinco touched the ground off one of the punches Maxwell threw, and he wasn't too hurt by it. I think he was more exhausted than anything, but still was exciting to see. And it was good that both guys, they paid respect to the sport in their post-fight interview, and I think they really enjoyed it. Maxwell expressed that Cinco was one of his heroes, sporting heroes, so I think he would have been over the moon to get in there with him and knock him down. So that was good to see. Moving on to the next fight between Jarrett, Hurd and Arias. A disappointing performance from Jarrett Hurd. I expected more. He wants to be in the title contention again and regain his titles that he lost to J-Rock Julian Williams not too long ago, but still relatively bit of time. 2 years ago, lost his titles, had one fight since. Fortunately, his father passed away, which is obviously a hard thing for anybody to have to deal with, and he still accepted the fight and still went in there and went to war. So I give him credit from that side, but defensively poor, just getting hit with too many overhands, and he allowed Arias to outwork him. The scorecards at the end were outrageous. For one judge to have Hurd winning that fight after Arias literally for 10 rounds went to him and was the one working. Very shameful, but something we see in boxing often. But I'm glad the right man got the result, because it would have been a travesty to see Arias put in that work and not get the victory. So credit to him. Poor from Hurd, and hopefully Hurd can get a rematch and then continue, because right now things are looking a bit techie for him after yesterday's performance. We move on. Badou Jack versus Incolino. He was a last minute replacement, as we know. Pascal tested positive for 4 banned substances. Look at me. 4 banned substances, some of which I cannot pronounce. I'm not going to pronounce any anyway, but I know I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce some of them. But I know some of them have to be injected. Some of the PEDs used by Pascal have to be injected, so it cannot be an accidental thing. It cannot be found in some meat somewhere in a restaurant in Mexico.
Please get the fuck out of here, man. It's my night.
This is an intentional thing. So Pascal cheating, loses his opportunity to defend his title. Really should have his title taken from him based on the extent of what was found. But Badu got in there with the last minute replacement. Incolino dominated from the start, opening bell. You could see Badu had the confidence to set it on him, put the pressure on him, and he did that. Doan having a record of 15-0 with 13 knockouts was a bit like, does this guy bang? Does he pose a threat? But clearly he's been knocking out people who don't know how to box, because he didn't have much to offer yesterday, and they almost got himself disqualified by holding on so much. But good pressure from Badu, good body shots thrown. It was good to see him back in action, and I know he will want an opponent that's his level, and I know he'll be looking to regain his world title. So good job from Badu. Good to see that, as obviously I know him personally, don't need to go on about it, but it's good to see him do his thing, because I know how much work he puts in behind the scenes. Moving on to the main event, Floyd Money Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Logan, you just have to give the guy credit. You have to give the guy credit. Like, people saying he won is like a bit of a step too far. It's a drag. You guys are dragging it. Moral victory, yes, but then to try and say, like, from a scoring perspective, he won is absolute nonsense. Cristian slapped the stats of the fight on the screen now. As you can see, not much success from Logan, but his success comes because he went the distance with the best boxer of our generation. He survived, I'd say, from round 5 to 8 with excessive clinching. If there were rules in place, traditional rules, he would have got points removed, if not disqualified. But with the rules that were there, the lack of rules, I should say, the clinching was accepted and the fight continued, and he saw the final bell. In the beginning, when he had that outburst of punches at the end of round 1, it would have been nice to see that more than once from Logan throughout the contest. Floyd just being Floyd. Great defense, head movement, blocking, shoulder rolling, doing his thing that he's always done. Obviously, he's a bit older now, and it's not as quick and it's not as sharp as it used to be. But you can see that the moves are still there, and that's never gonna go. I feel like it's just ingrained into him to be an elite boxer, and he's always going to be that for as long as his body allows him to. Overall, the fight was pretty, as I say, it was pretty average, especially when Logan started claiming Floyd every opportunity he could. It did kind of dead the action and dead the vibe, but it was still good to see him go the distance, and it was good to see Floyd in the ring and be able to commentate over a Floyd fight as well, which is something I never thought I'd be able to do. But yeah, that was great. I don't believe Floyd Mayweather should do any more exhibitions. Looking at him yesterday, I think he was disappointed that he didn't finish Logan, and I think he believed he was going to finish Logan. And the way Floyd was fighting, as we know, he's not the aggressive fighter like early 2000s and late 1990s. We know present day, I'd say from 2010 onwards, has been a display of masterful boxing, but not many finishes. To see him try and be aggressive like that and be frustrated and trying to walk Logan down, I believe he did try to finish him. I think Floyd, if he could have finished Logan yesterday, I think he would have. But it's hard to do when you're being held by a man that's over 15 kg heavier than you. And that's where the weight matters. The weight doesn't matter because of Logan's skill. Clearly we could see his skill wasn't matching or even near working, and we didn't expect that. But where the weight advantage came into play, which helped Logan the most, was he clinched him. He leaned on him. He made his weight known, and as he should do. I think that is a compliment to Logan, to know that's the way I'm going to get out of this and that's the way I'm going to survive this, is to use my weight and hold and, you know, be physical. And he done that. So credit to him. But yeah, I don't want to see Floyd do another exhibition. And I know the hype, I don't know if the hype has started yet or Jake started trash talking or anything, but I'm pretty sure that will kickstart soon. And as much as Jake is focusing on Tyron Woodley, maybe after that he'll be looking to get a fight with Floyd, and definitely McGregor if McGregor's up for it. I know that will happen also. Commentating on Sky Sports yesterday, thank you for everyone that tuned in. Great experience, something that I haven't done before in kind of like a corporate setting. You normally see me on the Knockout with True Geordie. Very good practice. Thank you, Brian, for getting me on there so often, because when Sky did call for me to do the box office show, I was ready and prepared. So shout out to True Geordie on that one. Shout out to Sky Sports Boxing for allowing me to do it as well. And I hope you guys at home enjoyed the commentary from my side and don't feel like I was chatting too much was and waffling. So no, I appreciate that. Overall good event, and yeah, it just makes me itch to get back into the ring, man. It really does, because it's just like I'm watching it and I'm like, man, I could do this. Like, I believe I could have stole that show yesterday. You know, that's me being honest, and that always boils down to other people's performances, and I feel like no one had a performance that, you know, I couldn't have outshined. Everything happens for a reason. It's life. This is what we do. we learn, we work through, and it was still a pleasure to be a part of the event, even though I would have rather have been in the rain scrapping. So yeah, things happen. myprotein.com, head there, 37% off using Viddal on checkout. I'm actually putting in a big order today, so I'm gonna have some new garms coming whenever I do my next load of recording. Like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscription feed, check that. Always check your subscription feed, because if you subscribe and you like me enough, I'll be there. It's not my choice to be on your homepage or not. I have to wait for the graces of YouTube to decide that. But if you want to see me anyway, check your subscription feed. I've got a lot of things cooking up, but I am actually waiting to fight first before I reveal any of my other ventures. I understand it can be frustrating. This guy is calling himself a boxer, but he's dropping clothing. This guy is calling himself a boxer, but he's dropping music. I get it. I'm with you guys, so I'm holding off on those things. When I can announce a fight and you see me in the ring throwing hands and people getting slept, then I'll bring everything else out, like these t-shirts and stuff like that. But it's the end of the video. If you don't know what I do at the end of the video,